Now, what empowered you as a kid?
You know what? My imagination. I didn't have a kind of like a traumatic childhood. I was asked that yesterday, and it was actually very sweet and comforting. But I was definitely the kid. Like if you went back in time and saw me at 7 years old, and you were looking in the school playground, I would be the tiniest kid telling everybody what to do. I'd say, "All right, we're gonna play aliens today, and the rocket ship's over there, and everybody go over there. And hey, you're way too tall, so you need to be an alien." And that was me.
And what do you know where that came from? Do you know, you say your imagination, but did your parents, what gave you, the okay to take charge?
I'm not sure. I believe it actually was just a little bit of a serendipity of when I was born and what was going on then. And in that book, Malcolm Gladwell's book about outliers, a lot of random things happen to create opportunities. And I just happened to be 7 years old when Star Wars came out, and 12 years old when The Raiders came out, and E.T., and the greatest fantasy movies of all time that were aimed right at me. And there was just no way I wasn't going to get affected by that. And I think a lot of the filmmakers that are, even close to my age were hugely influenced by that.
Now, as a storyteller, aren't you an airbender? I mean, you get to control all the elements: mind, earth, fire, water.
That's true. I think, basically control freaks become directors. It's the reason why most of us are phobic about flying, which is interesting that you said airbending, since I'm so uncomfortable on a plane.
You're kidding.
Oh, yeah. Almost all directors are phobic of flying because it's the one place we have zero control. We can only eat our peanuts and trust that the pilots know what they're doing.
Communicating, telling a story, what a gift. Besides being, the boss of the playground, when did you realize you could tell a story and that you knew how to kind of get to people in that way?
I was writing a lot from when I was a kid. I have all my screenplays that I wrote when, I was a teenager, and my brother-in-law keeps making fun of me based on the first one that I wrote. I finished a full-length screenplay at 15, and I sent it off to some producers that were in the Yellow Pages, and I wrote this letter saying, you better hurry because there's a lot of offers. And my brother-in-law just kind of chuckled. He was watching me grow up, and he still makes fun of me today that, oh, you have a lot of offers.
Are you, having made this movie and having joined, your girl's passion for these stories, are you a hero with your daughters now?
A little bit. I think as a dad, you basically get the hero position with your daughters anyway, and this just kind of threw me over the top. One of my daughters, I was driving just recently, and she's like, "You're amazing. How are you so amazing?" And I was like, "Honey, I don't think your mom thinks that."
Oh, well, listen, I have 3 sons and a daughter, and I can tell you, daddies and daughters, that is a particular relationship.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can have audiences, awards, but when those girls look up to you, boy, that's everything.
That is everything. I would definitely go fight a battle for them to make them happy, and basically that's what I did here on Last Airbender.
All right. How much of a techie are you? I mean, I read that you were watching scenes back on your iPhone or your iPod.
Yeah, you know what? I am the opposite of a techie. If I could write on a typewriter, I was like the first generation that started learning on a computer. And if I could go back, I'd learn how to write on a typewriter and just have stayed that way. I totally believe in limitations, and I'm very skeptical about technology. So it's very ironic that I'm making a movie at the forefront of technology. And I just kind of finally just said, you know what? I'm going to embrace this, and went for it. And yeah, no, I had all this stuff on my iPhone, and I was showing the crew, and we did, push the limits of what technology had.
So what do you carry around every day? An iPhone, an iPad?
An iPhone, definitely. I don't even know how I functioned before it,
Why do you think, it's a hard subject, and you're going to get asked it a million times, but in the most personal way, why do you think the Airbender story touches so many kids?
I think that they treated the subject with great respect underneath. They had all the kind of the slapstick stuff on the surface in the cartoon, and if you get by that, you see that the show is about real subjects, about cultural diversity and Buddhism and Hinduism and even genocide and industrialism and all these subjects that they may not be able to articulate, but they get that the movements of society and what's right and wrong. And it's just like when I saw Star Wars, you know, the Force is like a belief system. It's like religion. It's and the Jedi's believed in it, and everyone else is moving forward. I mean, we get that. We don't know how to articulate that at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but we get it, and that's why it appeals on so many different levels to different age groups.